Hello again. Time for the second of my NFL division previews. I know Dark Age of you requested the NFC North again, and I'm just really hesitant to do it without knowing WTF is going on in Minnesota. Uh, so I promise once Favre makes his decision, that'll be my next one. But I hope that'll happen during the preseason, and I'm sure the Vikings hope that too. Um, yeah, it's just going to make too much of a difference, I think. So I'm going to hold off on that one again. I'm going to do the other one that you kind of mentioned, which was the AFC West. So, again, starting from their 2009 finish, last to first, which means I'm going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs first. And I like Matt Castle as a quarterback. I mean, he did a great job filling in for Tom Brady that one year when he was with the Patriots. But since he came to Kansas City, he hasn't had much surrounding him, and I don't think 2010 is going to be much of a different story. Running back wise, Jamal Charles did a good job. He's got Thomas Jones there to help out now. And Tony Gonzalez has gone as a tight end. I think Leonard Pope is probably going to be the tight end this year. Uh, so, yeah, I don't really see a whole lot different going on. They've got a couple of good receivers. Chris Chambers, good veteran receiver. So maybe they'll make some waves, but I don't see a whole lot different going on for Kansas City this year. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll go to the team that finished third last year, the Oakland Raiders. Um, they didn't make a whole lot of changes together, except for a couple of big differences. They've got some they've got some new quarterbacks, uh, which I think will be a lot more stable than the musical chairs they had last year. Started with Jamarcus Russell, then Bruce Gradowski, Charlie Fry. I think my mother had a few reps with them last year too. But yeah, this year they brought in Jason Campbell and Kyle Bowler, who I don't think they've announced who the starter is yet, but either one of them. I don't think either one of them is going to put the Raiders over the top, but they'll definitely provide a lot more stability than they had last year and consistency. And I don't really recognize any of the receivers' names, so there's going to be a lot of inexperience too. But I think having that quarterback in place is going to be an improvement. It's going to be a small improvement, but yeah, I think based on the preseason game where they both played, I think Bowler kind of has the upper hand right now, but I really don't know. I personally like Campbell. I think, yeah, but I like Bowler too. But it's gonna be a small improvement for the Raiders this year. It's not gonna be like an overnight success type thing, but I think the Raiders are starting to move in the right direction. They're not quite in the right direction yet, but they're starting to turn that corner, you know. Which brings us to the second place team last year, the Denver Broncos. I don't quite know if after 1 year of Kyle Orton as the starting quarterback, I still don't know if I buy him really, and I don't know if the Broncos do either. Maybe that's why they brought in Brady Quinn and were the team to finally draft Tim Tebow. Um, I think it'll pretty much be the same story for them too. I mean, they have Noshawn Marino, who was great in his rookie year as a running back. They did trade Brandon Marshall, one of their best receivers, but they still have some good receiving options. They have Jabbar Gaffney, they have Brandon Stokely, they have Brandon Lloyd. Um, and yeah, their defense is still good. Elmas Dumerville is injured too, but they still have a lot of good defenders. They have what's that dude's name? They have Brian Dawkins now. Uh, Champ Bailey's still there. Yeah. I think it'll be pretty much the same story for the Broncos too. I mean, their injuries might set them back a tiny, tiny bit, but I see another second place season for them. Which brings us to the team that won the division last year, the San Diego Chargers. And again, it's probably going to be the same story. They did lose their star running back, LaDainian Tomlinson, but I think it was just the right time to let him go. And I'll tell you why. Because they're with Philip Rivers and Vincent Jackson. I don't know what the story is with Vincent Jackson, by the way. I know he's suspended for a few games. He might still be holding out too. But if they can get him back, wow. Um, but yeah, they're turning into more of a passing team anyway, so I think it was the right time to get rid of LT. I think LT still has some game left in him, but this way they can make the transition a little easier. Philip Rivers is a great quarterback. Like I said, Vincent Jackson, Antonio Gates, I think, is probably the best tight end in the league right now. I think Nate Kading is the best kicker in the league. I don't think they're going to have any trouble putting points on the board. And running back wise, I don't think they're hurting too bad. They drafted Ryan Matthews, who they signed to a 5-year contract. He's going to be their running back of the future. And Sproles is going to be there to help out as well. He backed up LT last year. I don't think they're going to have any trouble putting points on the board. I think the AFC West is theirs easily again this year. And yeah, so in order of finish, and I'm going to call the order not to change at all. San Diego's going to win the division very, very easily. And Denver's going to stay at second. They're probably going to be maybe 9-7 at most. Maybe 8-8 like they were last year. I don't know, but I don't see them getting any better, getting any worse. Oakland I see getting a little better. I might even call them... I was even thinking being so bold as to think with their slight improvement with the quarterback situation and with Denver's injuries that they might possibly surpass Denver this year. It would into second. It would have been a distant second anyway, but I'm not going to be quite that bold. I think Oakland still finishes third, and Kansas City is probably going to be the same, about 4 wins. I don't think they're getting worse, but they're not getting better either. So yeah, and like you said, Dark Age Up, it was an easy division to call. So yeah, that's what I think about the AFC West division. Keep sending your requests in. I promise I will get to the NFC North when I find out what's going on there. But if you have any other divisions you want to hear about, send me a message. And yeah, we got 3 weeks to go until the season starts, and I think it's going to be a good one. Have a good day. Bye.